Get high CPU usage for some reason. I can't even explain it. I'm gonna have to like, damn. I'm about to search that up. This was never an issue. I'm trying to figure out if I should be concerned with the drop frames. It's saying drop frames, but everything seems to be looking good. I don't really know, bro. I don't know if it's working, y'all. It still says I'm dropping frames, but it's not dropping as much as it was earlier. CPU like is a little chill right now. Game seems to be running smooth. Camera camera is a little ass though. I'm lagging behind like a motherfucker. I wasn't dropping frames. I really can't even call it. So what I'm seeing is I have to. What I'm seeing is I have to. I don't know what I'm saying anymore. So I'm seeing one joint is saying to enable VSync. I'm tired, chat. Let's see what happens if I get in the game. Hold on. Like, I'm just curious. That shit look nasty, bro.
If you've been hoarding supplies, now's the time to share. Or don't. Whatever.
Let me test something real quick. I heard that was my mom, dude. That shit crazy. Let me see something.
Restaurant staff, thanks to mysterious tip of Hector's food. We're down to 6 now.
I like it did some. But I don't think it did enough. I might have to come back. Let me see. I think I already did. I already submit everything. My inventory like a little empty. I feel like I did. Like I was just like, fuck it. Like my explosives ain't there. It seemed like yeah.
Jimmy, pick up the pace. Forklift is out. 2-4 is go time.
Tianwen calling. You'll find their cache around Murano Station, marked with a ribbon. A little sabotage should do the trick.
It feel like this shit worse than this shit worse than the this shit feel like I downgraded, cuz. Ain't no bullshit. I'm gonna have to Google this shit or something. I'm gonna have to go to my control panel. See what's going on with it. Hold on, chat. So as y'all can see, this is what we doing right now. That shit cooking. Hold on. I gotta test this shit out. Speed test.
I think I already did.
Yeah, like already.
Did I already see everything?
Like everything is cooked right now, dog. It's running smooth now. Hold on. Hold on, it's running smooth as shit, gang. I know it's not. Hold on.
Let's go to the hospital.
Ain't none good down there. What's going on with the live? I just upgraded my PC and that shit giving me the worst. Giving me the worst reaction ever. Like, no sense. I think the worst part is for me, I'm tired of this shit right now. Like, I don't even want to deal with this shit. It's a lot of troubleshooting I'm gonna have to do. I'm gonna have to optimize my drivers and shit like that. But I haven't figured out. Oh my gosh. I'm about to YouTube it right now. What's good with you though, Al? You probably gonna hear me saying this shit later shit. Hold on, it look like it's working smooth now, chat. Well, the game is moving smooth. And now I gotta figure out like the stream inside of it. Like honestly, sometimes it's like it could be the RAM, the data. And you're trying to figure out how to optimize it, so reading and receiving. Oh, this is annoying. So where is it? I'm just testing it out though. You getting around 120 frames though while streaming. That's a bit new for me. Oh my gosh, bro, this shit is pissing me off. Getting there. I see it though. I see it's getting there. It's getting there. And it like me stop dropping frames. appreciate the heads up. I'm trying to work that shit out. Gang, let me see this on Twitch. I'm gonna have to try to optimize on both sides of the coin. I see.
Head home at the northern station.
Try to extract. Yeah, all right. While I'm playing. I gotta do some tuning, probably. Let me YouTube tutorial this shit real quick. See if you get it right on the first try. That shit is annoying as fuck. Don't make no sense. One of these hoes Biggie got to creep with, sleep with. All right, let me see. So we right here with it, chat. Let's see, chat. Let's see what they say, chat. Damn, all my shit cooked. Oh, that's out of pocket.
For you?
PC gaming sucks. I'm going back to console.
Jared, you know what to do. Let's figure out what your problem is before you crash out and get yourself banned from a Discord.
Okay, I got a 5070, but this card can't even do more than 60 hertz.
Well, that's just fake news.
Look, NVIDIA control panel won't even give me an option for high refresh rate.
Jared, this is an Asus VG258. It's a legendary gaming monitor.
Yeah, that's what I thought, but clearly something's wrong with the GPU because Asus would never lie about refresh rates.
Jared, what's plugged into your GPU?
Come on, Zach, you're PC Papa. You're supposed to know.
No, why do you have a DisplayPort to HDMI adapter on the GPU?
Oh, that's because I didn't have a...
Whoa, you have another one on your monitor.
Well, if you'd let me finish, I didn't have a DisplayPort cable, so
So you used two adapters and the world's oldest HDMI cable to hook up your brand new monitor?
I call it DIY spend more when I have a box full of cables that work just fine.
This really rolls off the tongue, doesn't it?
That's a working title. Hey man, I'm mad at NVIDIA.
What? Why? After...
Said it's 2025 and how Finesse go replace...
I think this might be one of them. This might be one of the issues. Bear with me, chat. We gonna get through this, all right? We gonna get through this.
And in this video, I'm bringing you the updated or display driver uninstaller, which will automatically clear out all of the shader files. Both options are great. Both options will achieve the same result, so you can go with method 1 or method 2. I would highly recommend that you now and in the future. If you've watched previous videos on this in the past, some of the locations of the shader cache have changed, so this is the latest video to get the best results from this. This works across the board on all NVIDIA GPUs, from older GTX GPUs all the way up to the latest and greatest RTX GPUs on desktop and on laptop, so regardless of what NVIDIA GPU you have, both methods will work completely fine on your system. Get Windows activated for a great price with Whokeys. Use the links below for Windows 11, Windows 10 or Office. Apply code PAN20 at checkout for an additional 25% off. Secure payment options, including PayPal, are available. Once complete, just paste the key to activate Windows and remove the watermark. Windows 10 keys can also upgrade to Windows 11. Use the links in the description.
Let me try this shit right here, chat.
Now listen, it can happen to everyone to end up with a bottlenecked systems, bottlenecked PC builds. And that's very frustrating because you know you paid for a certain level of performance, but you're simply not achieving that. However, today we are learning from this poor guy's mistakes and showing you how you can avoid this in the first place, and if you do end up in a situation like this, how you can fix it for cheap. So with that said, welcome back at Multi PSUs, and here we are on how to fix a CPU bottleneck and a thermal bottleneck also. Now, what this guy did is he got a PC built by a friend of his. Now, if your friend is subscribed to Muslim PSUs, that's probably a good idea, but if your friend isn't, I would seriously reconsider it. Jokes aside, he recommended he built an RTX 5070 gaming PC with some other components far from out of it. So he came to me and he was like, we need to do something. So I told him, listen, we need to upgrade your CPU and slap a better cooler on it while we're at it, because he was also using stock cooler, so the APU was also running overheating. It was terrible to begin with, but it was also running really bad. So the easiest upgrade path is going to be what we did, and it is the Ryzen 7 9700X, because these CPUs are very cheap nowadays. You can find them for around $200 brand new, but if you scour the used market, I've seen them go for under $200, and they're still relatively new, because even if the guy bought it at launch, it was just over 1 year ago, so they're still a relatively new CPU you can buy on the used market. Now, while we're at it, I decided to throw an all-in-one on it, since the guy literally had this.
He's not making sense, chat. Let me try this. Dude, this shit, oh my gosh. This shit is disgusting, bro. I'm glad I got a little bit of time before I have to actually go to work. Excuse me.
Imagine being able to build an app with your name on it, just by thinking about it. Meet Base 44, a complete...
Your NVIDIA control panel settings are probably wrong. So today I'm going to give you a definitive in-depth breakdown of all of the best NVIDIA control panel settings for maximum performance and visuals in literally any PC game. First thing to do is open up the NVIDIA control panel. You can do it from the desktop, just right click anywhere, then select it from the menu that opens. We're going to start in this first area, adjust image settings with
Start with that. Why did it fucking...
Either of these other things, it's start in this first area, adjust image settings with preview. All you need to do here is make sure you've got the use the advanced 3D image settings option set. If you select either of these other things, it's not going to use any of the settings we dial in here, so this whole video will be completely pointless. So make sure you've got that set there. Now, because you're watching this video, guys, I can only assume that you've already built the ultimate PC gaming setup.
I can already feel it feels better. I can already feel it.
You know, a killer graphics card, lightning fast monitor, custom mechanical keyboard, but there's one thing that could still be holding you back: your connection. Most gamers don't realize this, but the route that your data takes to reach the game server matters just as much as your FPS, if not more. If that route isn't optimized, then your performance takes a hit, and that is where ExitLag comes in, who are kindly supporting today's video. Let me make this clear. This is not a luxury. It is a core part of a complete gaming setup. No technical skills needed, it just works. Before I was contacted by these guys, I had tried all sorts of things to improve to any game you play. The first setting in here is image scaling, which enables you to run a game at a slightly lower resolution and then use sharpening to make the game look less blurry and overall provide an FPS boost. However, I recommend that you don't use this. There are much better upscaling settings we now have, things like DLSS, things like FSR built into games. Instead, I'm going to show you how you can replace the image scaling option in here with an image sharpening option that can make pretty much any game look better. Here's how you do it. First thing you need to do, close the NVIDIA control panel. Next, come down to your search bar and search for regedit, which is the registry editor. You then need to go to this folder path, which I've pasted up here. You can copy and paste that from in my description below. Press enter and you'll have a ton of options in here that are enable GR and then some numbers. The one we care about is enable GR535. What you're gonna do is double click and you're gonna change the value data in here from 1 to 0. Click OK. You don't need to save anything. You can then just close regedit, right click again, open up the NVIDIA control panel, and when we head back to the manage 3D settings area, you will see we now have image sharpening. What I'd recommend you do globally is come in here and turn this on, set it to, I like around 0.7 and leave ignore film grain to 0.17. This is a really nice, pretty much performance free sharpening boost to any game. If you don't like it in a specific game, you can come into the program settings and you can set it to right that. The records look, if you're looking directly at an object head on, the texture will be pretty in the background when we alt tab out. So if I'm playing a game and then maybe I'm looking at a guide or just doing something on my second monitor, I can alt tab and it will limit the frame rate. This is actually a really good thing to do because a lot of games, when you alt tab out of them, they're still running at crazy frame rate in the background. It tanks your PC, it makes what you're trying to do over on the side. A lot of games these days, especially the competitive ones, come with a max frame rate setting in the in-game settings. That's always going to give you the best latency. MFAA, or multi-frame sampled AA, is set to off by default, but you definitely need to turn it on. The reason
I'm so lost.
AI that with Copilot.
How's it going, everyone? It is Panjino here, and in this video we'll be covering what I would say are essential steps for any PC featuring an AMD Ryzen CPU to get the outright best performance from that CPU, unlock any and all performance, potential micro stutters, or if you aren't experiencing any of those issues, it's at least outdated and potentially less secure. To download and install the latest AMD chipset drivers for your system, first of all take yourself over to Google. There are then two methods that we can obtain
I think this is the main thing I need to do for real.
The latest chipset drivers depending on your system specs. First of all, for those of you on an AMD Ryzen CPU but you have an Nvidia or Intel graphics card, head over to Google and search for AMD chipset drivers. Go to AMD.com's driver and support section, go to Windows 10/11 auto detect drivers and select download Windows drivers. Once this
I'm about to do that right now.
For AMD chipset drivers, go to AMD.com's driver and support section, go to Windows 10/11 Auto Detect drivers, and select Download Windows drivers. Once this is downloaded,
Thank you. Better download that bit right now. Yo, if that shit transform like 9 and day Chaslet.
downloaded, open it up, it will then automatically detect the operating system and chipset that's needed for your system and get you up and running on it. Now, for those of you that have a Ryzen CPU but are using Radeon integrated graphics or a dedicated Radeon GPU, as long as your AMD GPU is somewhat recent and you have access.
I came up from nothing, nigga. You can tell me shit. Did it on my own. Check out my neck. Check out my wrist. I'm cooked, chat. Oh my gosh, I can't wait till I get back. I feel like once I get some sleep, yeah, I'm gonna be Gucci, like no bullshit. All right, so we getting the shits right now. It's already
It's to the 25.3.
I'm tripping. Where is it? Okay, here it is. Let's see, chat. Let's see. I'm so excited to see these results. Ran through that motherfucker quick as fuck. I apologize about the lag in chat. That shit. I'm literally testing a new GPU. Trying to see. You think it'll just be an upgrade? And yeah, you lit, but I gotta do all this shit first, and I'm gonna have to download drivers, get a USB, put it on there, and all that stuff, and then update it, and I heard it takes a little minute, so it's only 11:40 right now. I guess I'm gonna have to call tonight at L. But no, it's all in the learning process. Feel me? It's all part of the game. Shout out to the 6 of y'all that are tapped in right now. You about to find out what we got for driver compatibility, y'all. I feel like once we do that shit gonna be like bing, bing, bing. This shit gonna link up like a motherfucking, like a transformer. I don't think it's just my chipset. I think I also have to upgrade my motherboard, because that's another thing folks was telling me about. So I'm gonna open up another tab and see if we can work on that. Let me see what it's saying.
3.1 GPU drivers or higher. If you're not entirely sure, make sure that your GPU drivers are up to date, and if the number matches the one on screen or it's higher, you should be good to go. Navigate.
I don't know what he's trying to say though. I don't get what he's trying to say.
It's the bottom right to manage, but are using Radeon integrated graphics. Select Download Windows drivers. Once this is downloaded, open it up. It will then automatically detect the operating system and chipset that's needed for your system and get you up and running on it. Now, for those of you that have a Ryzen CPU but are using Radeon integrated graphics or a dedicated Radeon GPU, as long as your AMD GPU is somewhat recent and you have access to the 25.3.1 GPU drivers or higher, if you're not entirely sure, make sure that your GPU drivers are up to date, and if the number matches the one on screen or it's higher, you should be good to go. Navigate to the bottom right to manage updates. The AMD Install Manager should open up. Go to the available software and installed software. Inside of here, you should be able to find the chipset drivers. If there are are new chipset drivers available to be installed for your system, just head over to the download icon, install those to your system, and you're then good to go. You can also choose to have AMD automatically keep the software up to date for you by checking this box, and you can also check which version of the chipset drivers you are running at any time under the installed section, and it's just that easy. But if you're using an AMD GPU that doesn't have access to these drivers and it's slightly older, or if you would like to manually download and install the chipset drivers for yourself, instead of using the auto detect option on AMD's website, I instead would recommend heading to Google, searching for AMD chipset drivers, and putting Tech PowerUp on the end. Head to the latest AMD Radeon chipset drivers at techpowerup.com. Make sure that your URL matches the one at the top. The top left hand side, you'll be able to download the latest drivers for your system, select a download mirror. Using the Tech PowerUp method is the quickest way to get the overall driver package, which as you can
Shit, shout out to the 11 of y'all that's watching the YouTube right now. Shit.
see, supports basically all Ryzen CPUs and chipsets, and it takes the guesswork out of trying to find out what chipset and what CPU you are using. The reason I'd recommend using this if you have a Radeon iGPU or dedicated GPU is because if you download the auto detect drivers from AMD, it's going to assume that you're looking to upgrade your GPU drivers and not your chipset drivers. So go with the Tech PowerUp option if you're using a Radeon integrated GPU or dedicated GPU, and use the auto detect GPU drivers and not your chips. Have a Radeon iGPU or dedicated GPU is because if you download the auto detect drivers from AMD, it's going to assume that you're looking to upgrade your GPU drivers and not your chipset drivers. So go with the Tech PowerUp option if you're using a Radeon integrated GPU or dedicated GPU, and use the auto detect drivers if you have an NVIDIA GPU or an Intel GPU. Once those are downloaded, simply open up the chipset driver or auto detect that you downloaded. You'll then be given the chipset drivers alongside some optional installs that are available to you. You can choose to remove any of these for any reason if you wish to do so, but in my recommendation I would have all of these selected, then go to the bottom right and select install. Once your chipset software has been updated, head to the bottom right hand side and select to restart your system. Log in as usual, all of your AMD chipset drivers are now up to date.
Enhance your membership with the American Express Platinum
That's
card
lit, that's
and
lit.
access over $3,500 in annual value.
That's lit, that's lit, that's lit. Alright, so we just waiting now. We just downloading it. Chat, like, we just waiting for that shit to download. I think that was it.
Stay up to date with Windows updates. Windows 11 has had some performance issues on Ryzen based systems. Thankfully, about 2 months ago, there was a patch that was deployed onto the Windows 11 24H2 major revision update, which is still currently rolling out to some select systems. But thankfully, the Ryzen performance improvements section of that update was actually brought across to Windows 11 23H2, which most of you watching this video are probably still running on, in a quick fix update, which is highly recommended for basically every single one of you watching this video to have installed. Even if you don't see average FPS go up much, many of these updates will improve the 0.1 and 1% low performance, which is arguably more important in games for stability and reducing stutters. For those of you on a Ryzen CPU but you have an NVIDIA GPU, a few quick settings that I would recommend that you look into, especially if you're running the NVIDIA app. Open the NVIDIA app, head over to the settings section. I would recommend switching game filters and photo mode to off, as this currently causes a massive performance reduction in many popular titles.
I'm gonna go do that right now too. Hold on. I did just I just download this as well. So let's see if that'll make a difference too. Go to settings.
You don't need to have the whole overlay turned off, just the game filters and photo mode. Wouldn't surprise me if Nvidia puts out a fix for this relatively quick, so you can feel free to turn this back on if you really want to use it, but for the best performance possible, leave this turned off. If you still happen to experience lower than expected performance or micro stutters in any of your favorite games after any and all of the steps showcased in this video, a recommendation from me would be to look into uninstalling your GPU drivers and doing a complete fresh install of those utilizing DDU. You can find a very quick and easy to follow along with video guide linked in the description down below. On top of this, my #1 recommendation for those of